It's Matt Melzak, the voice of the Toledo Walleye, joining us here for Melzak Monday. And you know, normally the number 13 associated with bad luck, but that's kind of quite the opposite case as the Fish won 13 straight games last night.
Yeah, quite a feat right now for the Toledo Walleye to go 13 consecutive games with victories. You know, it just doesn't happen very often. I mean, it's the 5th longest streak in the history of the league. You just don't get to this kind of territory very often. And it says a lot about this team and the way they're playing. I mean, you could even branch out to their last 25 games, and they have 1 regulation loss, 1 overtime loss. That's it. I mean, this team is playing such good hockey right now. They're on such a high. I know a lot of the games have been runaways, including, you know, Saturday night at home, but Sunday they got pushed, and they still found a way to win 1-0.
And what do you think has been the largest part of this successful streak for them?
I think it starts defensively for this team. They've been so good defensively, now allowing less than 2.5 goals a game from where they were, which is well over 3 allowed per game. They've cut that down almost an entire goal per game since December to now. I think that's a huge part of why they have turned this thing around. And then the goaltending as well. I mean, you got a young goaltender in Sebastian Costa. He's only 20 years old. World of talent, so much talent. It's amazing watching him play, and you can see the talent that he has. And then it's just harnessing that, and he's been able to do that lately.
Now, Costa earned his 4th shutout against the Nailers last night, and now he's ranked at the top of the ECHL with John Lethleman, who we just found out is coming back to Toledo.
Yeah, good stuff there. Going to have John Lethleman back. We figured that would be the case. I mean, it was just an illness up at the Detroit level that pushes goaltenders up, and he did get a start in Grand Rapids, played okay, 37 saves, although an overtime loss. And yeah, Sebastian Costa has been equally as good. I mean, you look, John Lethleman won the goalie of the month in February. He had a goals against average of .67. Sebastian Costa was 3rd in the league with a 1.33 goals against average. It's not like they were far apart. That's how good those two have been as a tandem. They're pushing each other so nicely. They've really been going back and forth until Costa had to do the back-to-back starts this week. So it's really been fun to watch those two, and especially that development of Sebastian Costa.
So big on the defensive side, but then let's switch sides. Offensive, Brandon Hawkins, 4 goals this past week, the game winner last night. What has it been about his game that's just been so on right now?
He's a guy that can score, and he's a scorer, and scorers will find a way to get to those points, right? So you look, and now he's rocking, what, a 9-game point streak. He's got, what, 10 or 11 goals in that span. It's amazing when a goal scorer really gets into a groove, and he's in that groove right now. And a lot of that, too, comes from some of the great passing that he's receiving. You look at his goal on Saturday night. Great pass by, you know, Kirill Tutayev. You know, Gordy Green's been playing with him, and those have really set things up. And plus, he's heating up on the power play. He's that weapon on the man advantage. I thought Rick Judson, who was working with me this weekend, had a great analogy. If you watch the National Hockey League and you watch Alex Ovechkin, it's kind of the same at our level for Brandon Hawkins. They move the power play around, try to get that penalty kill to move and fade away from him. It opens him up for that great shot that he has. And I mean, he had a heck of a shot to win the game on Sunday. I mean, go off the goalie's helmet and in. I mean, he's just inventing more ways to find the back of the net for us.
Now, to be talked about in the same sentence with Ovi, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and I get where his comparison, well, they're not comparing, he's not comparing his players.
Right.
He's just saying, like, the way they set it up on a power play, it fits. He's got a terrific shot. You want to get him loose for shots, and that's what they were able to do, and they've been able to do it a lot, and that's why that power play has continued to improve. And you know, as more he scores, the better that offense churns, no question.
Right now, the Walleye just a point ahead of the Cyclones in the standings. How do they kind of keep that momentum that they're running and use it this final stretch coming up?
You know, it's going to be an interesting week because this week starts 5 consecutive on the road. However, only 3 this week, 2 next week. But this is a tough week because you're going back to Wheeling. You know what the Nailers are looking for. That's an early start, 10:45 in the morning. For that game, Wheeling, they're going to actually have a big crowd there. It's been struggled to get fans in the seats there in Wheeling, but they will have the school day. They'll have it packed up. It'll be fun, and you know, Wheeling's got a lot to play for as they're trying to get to that 4th spot and flag down the Fort Wayne Comets. And then some tough teams this weekend: Kalamazoo Friday, and then off to Indy on Saturday. Indy, of course, they're trying to be a playoff team as well, sitting in 3rd spot right now. Tough place to play and a good team to go against.
A tough stretch they have coming up. Like you mentioned, that's going to start Wednesday early, 10:45 in Wheeling, West Virginia. We will have the highlights of that game here on Sports Nightly at 10:30 at BCSN. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Carly.